So in the last video, we had clustered uh, the Michelle Obama tweets, and I was hesitating a little bit because I couldn't find the actual results. I was looking for them, but they were actually right in front of me. I just forgot where they were. Oh, can I make this? What happened here? Uh, no, this is stuck. Oh well. All right. Anyway, they're here. Uh, so here are all the words, and I couldn't find the. I wasn't couldn't find the clusters, but they're here. So these are the clusters. So if I scroll up here to the top and go down to here, and I can see the cluster 0. Um, so it had zero occurrence of the first word of aboard and zero occurrence of add, but Adam apparently was in it because this is not zero, um, and so on. So this is the information I was just looking for. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Excel to look at these clusters. So I'm just going to copy everything that's here. By the way, if you want, you can put this in a separate window by right-clicking on this. This is called the results list. So anytime you perform a clustering, you'll get it. If I do a different clustering, um, it'll appear in this list as a separate entry. So anyway, here I have the first time I did it. So I right-click on this and I can view in a separate window if you want. You don't need to do this, but you could. So now I have this separate window with the information. Anyway, so I want to copy this. So I just click on here and select all, like that, and then copy. Control copy, and I'll close that. And I'm going to use Excel, so I'll go and open up Excel. And I will paste it here. And I get all of this, and this is actually not separated by cells, right? A board, and this is still all, if you look carefully, this is all in the same cell. I don't like that. So I'll go to something in Excel, click on Data, and Text to Columns. So I want to put this text into separate columns. So I click on that, and it's fixed width, and that's correct. And keep going, and finish. And now these are all in separate columns. And what I'm going to do is remove this, delete it. And actually I don't need these. I'm not going to use these. So I'll delete those. Oops. And I'm going to actually change these entries to C0, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, and C7. These are just, I just want to give them names. Cluster 0 through 7. And now I'd like to explore these clusters. Maybe I'll do this also just to make it. Now I'd like to explore these clusters. Like if I go down to the bottom here, I saw that cluster 0 had 28% of the data. In fact, I'm going to move this over back up to the top so I have this available. So I saw that cluster 0 had 28% of the data. So maybe I'd like to see what does cluster 8 look like, cluster 0 look like. So what I mean by that is I want to know what are the most frequently occurring words in the tweets that have been clustered into cluster 0. So these are representation, these numbers are representation of the frequencies. So I just like to sort these from greatest to least. So I'll use Excel sort here, custom sort, and I clicked that my data has headers. My data has headers, and so I want to sort by column C0 this time, and from not from smallest to largest, but from largest to smallest, and click OK. And now I have this in descending order, and these have been put into descending order. So Oprah is the most frequently apparently occurring word in cluster 0. So I'm just going to copy this over to here. And then I'm going to copy these words, Control Shift and arrow down, and copy, and I'm going to put them here. So now I see that this is for cluster 0, this is the order of the most frequently occurring words. Now I'll do the same thing for cluster, let's do another one, say this one, cluster 3. So I'll just sort again, and this time on C3, and this is largest to smallest is okay. And now supposedly it's done that. Did I do it right? I believe so. So now I can just copy these, and actually I don't know what RT means. I could maybe consider just not including that, but this was cluster 3, and do that. And now, let's do another one. Let's say cluster 6. So just sort cluster 6 from largest to smallest. So this is from largest to smallest. Now these are the words. Copy these for cluster 6, and I should do this for each of the clusters. And now I can try and decide, well, what are these clusters? Why are these why are the clusters that are in cluster 0 together, and why are the clusters that are in cluster 3 together, and so on. So now this is kind of the fuzzy, very much the fuzzy part of this process, and that is trying to figure out what is this cluster. Can we say what it's about? Well, Oprah, love, dinner, night, dress, right? Okay, whereas here, well, Oprah's also here. And Google image offensive. So I did this before, and I wondered, well, what's going on here? And apparently during the time that these tweets were collected, Michelle Obama wore some kind of dress, and somebody made some nasty remark about it, and and it was considered, and I think it was Google that did something, and so this might be about that incident. So this might be, I might rename this, instead of cluster 6, I might rename it like Michelle's dress, or just dress. And this might have been like something to do with a dinner at the White House, and people commented on Michelle Obama's arms. So I might call this cluster might be about um, White House dinner. I'll just call it dinner. Okay, and so on. So we could go and try and do this for each of the clusters. Try and figure out what these clusters are about. Now, so this was an example about Michelle Obama, and this was with tweets. but we could cluster lots of different kinds of data. It doesn't even have to be text data. Of course it doesn't have to be text data. And we could try and then figure out, once we've clustered it, what makes each of the clusters unique, or what are each of the clusters about. So that's the process for text mining. And the next video will be about a different form of data mining. Okay, that's all for this one.